All right, we're live, not Memorex.
Nice. Put up the Twitch.
No.
This you're just chatting.
That's because we're just chatting. All right, so recap of last week. Once again, Ripper has one up to Warty, going 10-4, despite picking some dummies like the Texans. And the longest one, why did you pick the Bears this week again? Which you shouldn't have.
Who the fuck were they playing?
They're playing the Falcons.
That's probably why I picked the Bears.
Yeah.
The better running game.
Yeah. And then I think I should get a win for the Colts hanging in with the Eagles, but a 1-point loss is definitely not a bad thing when they were who I thought they were. How about that?
Hey, Bears Falcons only 27-24, so.
Yeah. Mine was 17-16. So, anywho, you finished 10-4, 95, 68-1 for the year. I finished 9-5, 87, 65-1. Looks like I'm
bad either way.
Yeah, looks like I need to get some wins quicker else. So
Jets.
Yeah.
Uncle Rico did lose his nut, by the way, but he says he's starting a new one.
That's nice. He also lost a starting quarterback in one of those. I mean, I don't know. I love that the benching him when he's lost 2 games to the Patriots, but it is what it is.
Zero fucking sense, dude. Zero sense. Damn it.
That's what I'm thinking. I mean, I get he didn't say. I guess the things in the after the game conversations were not what you would expect your franchise quarterback to say, and he's supposed to we're supposed to give 110% and all that fun stuff, but I don't think that gets you your job taken away. But that's just me.
So they're punishing him?
That's what I understand. I mean, unless you think Joe Flacco's legitimately, he had a bad game. He's
Let me tell you something about Joe Flacco. He hasn't played since week 3?
Yeah.
He's got 2 more touchdown passes than Russell Wilson.
It's pretty messed up that you brought that up.
It's a messed up stat.
Speaking of which, we're gonna have that's on the schedule. The Broncos are playing the Panthers in the who's more dysfunctional on offense, right?
Well, Baker's not starting. They're starting Darnoldson.
But Sam Darnold. But does it matter? Like the Panthers are just gonna plop another quarterback, and it's not like suddenly they're gonna put 70 up on the board. So,
well, you knew the Panthers' offense was bad when they got rid of McCaffrey.
It was bad. It was bad with him, right?
Yeah, but at least you had something, right? I mean, he is a premier running back.
Yeah, I mean, I guess
gets hurt a lot.
I guess it works in Tennessee, right?
I think the McCaffrey trade was getting value out of him now. He gets hurt a lot, man. Eventually, you're going to have to either get rid of him or cut him anyways. You got some value out of the trade now, which wasn't a great trade, but
overreaction of the week are the 49ers back or just one good week?
They're playing the Arizona Cardinals. Come on, without the
Lilliputian boy wonder.
They had the other little Texan.
Yeah.
Texas, but yeah, I don't know how you can look at that and go, oh wow, 49ers. Although they do have a great defense, but come on now, they're playing the Lilliputians team, and I don't think you can say, oh, they're going to be great now. But I would look out for them, man. They don't look too bad. They have pieces, and believe it or not, it's not even McCaffrey that's making a big difference. Mitchell's back, and he's the one running better than McCaffrey.
All right, so let's start off. Our first game of the week is going to be the Bills playing the Lions, and of course we got the other Thanksgiving host as well that we'll talk about next. But Bills versus the Lions.
Thanksgiving football, man. Hold on. Sorry, that came on. Thanksgiving football hits a little different, doesn't it? I mean, you eat and you want to watch. Those games are always like, even if it's not your team. Like for me, obviously the Cowboys, right? But even if it's not your team, it's Thanksgiving football. Even though we have Thursday football, it's 3 games. You're watching football all day after eating everything.
Yes.
It's pretty cool. Now this game, for some reason, Thanksgiving games are always like good games, right? Not all, for the most part, yeah. Honestly, this game is the Lions versus the Bills. I can't say that the Bills are. I want to say they're still that dominating team, but they look a little offset, don't they?
Yeah.
Something's up there, man. Something's really up there because they're not playing quite the way they should be playing. And is it because Allen is hurt and he's playing hurt? Apparently, like in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers has been playing with a broken thumb since week 5. They said.
That
Who
explains
knows?
a little
But
bit more, right?
it does. I'm looking for the Bills game last week. 31-23 to the Browns. Man, 8-point game to a 3-7 team. That says something, right? If you look at the stats, it didn't look great either. At the beginning, it looked a little slow off. I think Allen started really slow.
Well, and then yeah, he did. I mean, he didn't. As we had them in multiple fantasy leagues, so he did not get the typical Josh Allen points of palooza that you're expecting. So
That's why I'm wondering, is he hurt, right? He went 18 for 27, 197 yards and a touchdown. No picks, but that's not. I mean, you can chalk this one up to maybe game plan on the Cleveland side, but Cleveland's defense isn't really all that right now.
yeah.
I don't know. They did rush a lot more though.
Well, and
Singletary
it's almost like they knew it, right? Like the game plan was, oh, we're gonna take the ball out of Josh's hands and we're gonna run the ball, and which they did really well. I mean,
they did. Both Cook and Singletary had 86 yards. Man, they both ran very, very well.
Yeah.
And Allen didn't run much at all. But yeah. Anyways, back to the game though.
Does it matter, however? I mean, you're right though. Thanksgiving games are always closer than probably they should be.
I think because it's a holiday game, right?
Yeah.
Everybody plays a little bit different. Detroit last week. Let me see how they did. They beat the Giants, which is a big win for them. Considering the Giants have been playing pretty solid. They did, however. Yeah, Jared Goff went 17 for 26, 165 yards. They did not beat him through the air, that's for sure. I don't know how they beat him. Defense? I don't even see touchdowns on the running back side. I'm sorry, my bad. The running backs had the touchdowns. Swift had 1. Jamal Williams had 3. So they just had a big time running game. Let me tell you something. The one thing the Buffalo Bills do well is play that running game. I would say, per se, anyways. So this game, if all the Lions are going to have is the ground game and not the air game, they're in a lot of trouble. I'm not going to say that the Detroit Lions win this one whatsoever. However, they're an every year Thanksgiving team, and they always seem to show up for Thanksgiving games. I'm still going to take the Bills on this one. I think the Bills are just, again, their defense is top notch. I think they'll stop the run game. I think that's really all the Detroit Lions have going for them right now. Their pass game is, they have great receivers, and their pass game is trash, which tells you what, Goff, the quarterback, right?
Yeah.
Now, whether Allen's hurt or not, the Bills have shown that they can run the ball too, and Detroit's defense doesn't stop anything. Can't even stop a cold, right?
No.
So yeah, I'm definitely taking the Bills on this one on Thanksgiving Day, baby.
Yeah, I mean, I agree too. It is, and I think if you looked at it, and at this point we've seen the teams. They are what they are, right? And they're definitely separating into tiers. And I would say the Bills are in the top tier, and the Lions are in the bottom tier. And what is that? You're talking every game. You're probably going to have to make up like 10 to 15 points if you're in those different tiers. So the Lions need like 2, oh my god, touchdown returns or something crazy to make this kind of a game at this point. And chances are it's not going to happen. So Lions.
You know what's so funny? If you look at this, right, and we looked at these two teams by fantasy relevance. On the Bills, you definitely have Allen and you have Diggs, right? But Singletary and Cooks, maybe 0.5 each. So maybe you get a point with 2 running backs together. Maybe. Cooks had one good game, so maybe not. Singletary's been stepping up, but fine. Give it a point the running game. So you have 3 points there. Defense would give you another point, right? Because you play the Bills defense all day. So that's 4. You look at the Lions, they don't have a quarterback, but man, they've got running backs. I mean, Jamal Williams has 159 attempts, 668 yards, 12 touchdowns. That's huge for a running back. They have the Egyptian receiver who's not bad. Josh Reynolds isn't bad either. If you look at it, I would give them a point for running backs and I guess 1 point for receivers put together. I mean, the fantasy relevance, take away defense, and you're looking at 3-2, right? I don't know. My point was, which wasn't a good one, I guess. My point was that there is fantasy relevance on both sides, but Goff is 242 with 15 touchdowns and 7 interceptions, where Allen is 29-30 with 21 touchdowns and 10 interceptions. So Allen's throwing up some picks too. More picks than Goff is right now. So
yeah, but I mean, probably a mere mortal would have gone in for shoulder surgery, right? Like, he's playing hurt, so
still that Bills defense helps him win games.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is he went from God quarterback to okay game manager, but hey, the defense will win it for you.
Correct.
Awesome. All right, the Bills.
The Bills. Okay. That was easy enough.
Good game. Good call.
All right. I think this is going to be I hope this is a good game. And I know you don't hope it's a good game, but it's going to be the Cowboys and the Giants.
Well, let's start off with division rivalries.
And it's a good game if you win, right?
Yeah, for sure. But yeah, especially on Thanksgiving. Don't ruin my damn day, right? But either way, this is a division rivalry to start off with, right? So that's going to make it a good game regardless. And now it's on Thanksgiving, so even on a bigger stage, right? Because you're one of 3 games that day, and everybody's watching football on Thanksgiving. It's the 3:30 game, so it's the perfect game. It's right after most people eat, blah blah blah, right? So everybody's watching this game. This game is going to get a lot of viewers. It's going to be a big game. It's what you would call, I guess, on Thanksgiving Day prime time for Thanksgiving hours, right? A division rivalry. Both are 7-3. Both need this win to stay close to Philly, right? I mean, this has a lot of implications. This win could essentially put you in first place if Philly has a bad game. What is Philly's record at right now? They are 2 losses or 3 losses?
3.
So you're right there. You're right there. You beat the Giants, the Cowboys, and you beat Philly down the road, and you're winning that division, right? Everybody wants that, right? The guaranteed spot into the playoffs. So this is going to be a big game. Even at week 11, we're going to week 11 for them, right? Or week 12, actually. Big game, big implications, big division rivalry. Always step up to play. I think it's be a big game. It really is. I think it'll be closer than it should be. But end of day, I think that the Dallas Cowboys defense is too much for the Giants. I get that Minnesota was 8-1, but they hadn't played anybody and blah blah blah. True, but they were still 8-1, and the Cowboys came in and just handedly dominated the Vikings. I think they had a really great game plan for them, and I think they'll do the same for the Giants. I still think that regardless of that, it's going to be a really good game just because division rivalries, primetime Thanksgiving games, so on and so forth. I think this game will be won in the fourth quarter, obviously. It won't be decided any earlier, but it's going to be a good one. But I am, of course, it's my homer pick, but I also think the Cowboys are the better team. I think they have a great run defense, and Barkley, unfortunately for me, because I have him in one of my big money leagues, is not going to have a great game. The boys.
Or does he? And the Giants have the upset.
Uh-oh. Well, you tell me.
No, I don't. I would. I think that they're. I think that the Cowboys are the better team, even though they lost to the Eagles already. I think they're the better team in the NFC East, just period. So I think that they're the top team, and I think then it's the Eagles and the Giants at a different rung. Even though the Eagles won, and I know that doesn't, you would go, oh, the Eagles won and they're 9-1, but they don't feel that way. So and Dak's starting to come on, and that's. I don't know what you think about it, but what it looks like to me is he's getting hotter as it goes on, right?
Still not a believer.
He's just not a fan.
You just
I get you. You can only get disappointed so many times. You're like, you got me too many times when you get my hopes up.
Well, he reminds me a lot of Romo. He just really does. And Romo was a good quarterback as well, and I love Romo, but they just let you down at the wrong times, man. Those big fourth quarter moments or those big playoff games or whatnot, they just that letdown, man. Romo's one season to really win a Super Bowl was the season that they did the no catch against Green Bay on Dez, but other than that, man, he always let you down. They had those fourth quarter comeback wins and all that, but on big games, there was just that disappointment, and Dak reminds me of that same concept. I hope he makes me a believer, but right now, I believe that Dak is the same kind of joker.
Well, and to me, it's amazing how legacies get formed, right? Like Aaron Rodgers isn't Aaron Rodgers if it's not for that 1 year that they won, right? Like there's a lot of guys who've won one. And then you've got, some like people don't realize the excellence of Brady when you're in the league and half the time you're in the Super Bowl. That's
awesome.
That's unheard of. It's not just awesome. Like we're talking, some of the best before Brady were guys like Montana and Bradshaw that won 3. Like, they were 3-0 too. That's, Elway was 2-2. That was the awesome mark. Brady's like, hold my beer. I'm going every other year. So, but to me, even, kind of the bar is getting that one ring. And there's just some guys who you wonder if it's just bad luck. What is it that keeps them from getting that level? Because if they want, if Dak had won one Super Bowl, you'd probably feel a little different. But either way, maybe. Cowboys. All right. We got the next game is going to be the Pats and the Vikings. And you guys aren't home. You guys are going to New York for the game, right?
Are we? No.
I thought Dallas always played at home.
They do, yeah.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure it's at home, isn't it?
Well, it looked to me like it was an at. So, anyhow.
I gotta look. You tell me, don't you have it up on your screen?
I have it up right now.
Isn't it at? Yeah, Dallas at New York. At MetLife Stadium. Wow.
I didn't know when that changed. I just thought it was interesting.
Oh, they have to give a little, right? Everybody's crying because the Cowboys play every year. The Detroit Lions play every year. So I guess this is the only way to get it done, I guess. I don't know.
Yes. Next year, you're going to be playing in, Mexico City. What is it?
Sure.
Los Cowboys?
Los Vaqueros.
All right.
Next game.
The Pats are hosting the Vikes.
So you got to ask yourself, are the Vikings going to come out with that, we lost, let's go win one? Or are they going to be on tilt, right? Like, we're so frustrated. I hate football. And they come out play trashy. I don't know. If there's anyone to push the right buttons and get it done, it's going to be Belichick, right? I think Belichick proved to us that he is. Look, man. Everybody said Tom Brady in New England, but let's be honest. It was Tom Brady too. Don't get me wrong. But Belichick he's a football genius per se, right? The dude knows how to coach, obviously. I mean, look at the pieces he has right now, and he's still
pick the fantasy relevance on the Patriots. I'll wait.
Oh boy. Well, you can make a case for the running crew together. Harris and Stevenson. You can together they've got almost 1,000 yards and 7 touchdowns.
Together,
yeah, of course. I'm giving them both 0.5. So together, I'm going to give them 1 point for the running game. You kind of have to now for the running game if you think about it, because almost every team is running by committee. Every team. So, it's no longer like this running back, that running back. It's just like the running team.
Yeah.
So, I would give him 1 point. Mac Jones.
he takes away a point.
Yeah, really. It was 1 point. Now it's 0.75, right? The receiving is dismal. Myers is a good receiver, but he's not he's a possession receiver, right? He's a receiver that's going to get you those little checkdowns and stuff like that. If you look at his receptions, he has a lot of receptions, but in games sometimes, but he's not that deep threat. They don't really have much. Parker, so you can't give any fantasy relevance to those stats right now. So, yeah, okay, fine. 1 point is what I would give him. If even that, right? Because if you count it by running back, Stevenson by himself is only 644, which is the starting running back. 644 with 4 touchdowns. So you're right. We really can't give him any fantasy relevance if we go by old school rules, right?
Yeah.
And of course, in the Vikings, you know, Cousins is Cousins. I personally, I don't know if he's a one whole point by himself, but you know, even Dalvin Cook. Dalvin Cook's at 800 yards, 6 touchdowns. So he's doing great. Jefferson, obviously, you're giving a point to.
Yep.
Every other receiver on that team is kind of like, who are you? Because Zealand ain't doing much. So
Yeah.
I get it, but if you look at fantasy relevance and you actually pay, it would be what 1-0. So again, my point is the Vikings have beat nobody. Look at their record; they just had a soft schedule.
Well, you've got so to me, I would give Cousins is going to get some sort of point. If you're giving the running backs a point, you got to give Cousins because he gets his yards, right? You got to give Cook a point. You got to give Jefferson a point. Like that's 3 to probably 75.75 on the Pats, which means that Belichick is equivalent to 2 points of a coach.
Correct.
You know, because this team is 6-4, and they play in a division that has the Dolphins at 7-3, the Bills, who should be the AFC champs if they could just keep their team together, and the Jets, who are actually showing up and playing hard. So at 6-4, so they're in last place at 6-4, which again, I thought they would crater. I thought that this was going to be a really bad. Just looking at the piece, I thought it was going to be really bad. So the fact that they're 6-4 is just amazing.
Belichick. I mean, what else can you say, right?
Yeah.
It's Belichick. It's all Belichick. It's all Belichick. You know what we didn't get into for the last game, and I forgot to mention this? There's a running back controversy in Dallas right now. I mean, you can't really say it that way because of the running back by committee. But man, there's a lot of people who honestly think Pollard should be the starting running back and the all-time running back for Cowboys right now.
That's correct.
And
but even they brought it up in the game like a week or two ago. That basically and it was funny because Troy Aikman was kind of coloring it as well. They've got a decision to make in the offseason. That decision's made. The money's tied up with Zeke.
Correct.
They're not cutting him and getting dead money and signing Pollard. Pollard's going somewhere else.
Pollard's a free agent.
Correct.
There's no way you can afford to keep them both. And you're right. You're tied into Zeke. That's so unfortunate. It's what they should have done was try to trade Zeke in this season. They should have tried to trade him so that you could get rid of that contract, get rid of that money, and keep Pollard this offseason. It's not going to happen. The only way we keep Pollard is if we franchise tag him.
Yeah. Which then is going to make you lose someone else.
Correct. Well,
or multiple someone else's.
True. Well, I mean, who?
It's it will be part players, right? It's all the people that you don't hear about. That's the 450-pound reserve defensive tackle that makes things work. That's what you lose.
Correct. It might be worth it to keep Pollard, man, and figure out something to do with Zeke because I'm telling you, man, he is dynamic. He really is. Now, again, look, it's hard to 100% say this running back is dynamic and he's going to be great in another team because some running backs work great under certain systems. And I think that could be a case here with Pollard, right? Kellen Moore, his offense and the way he's using Pollard is great. It's smart. He's using it, he's formulating his stuff around Pollard instead of Pollard into his stuff, and it's working out for them.
Yeah.
Right? Zeke, on the other hand, they just want, Zeke fit into this role and do what you got to do. And Zeke's a great athlete, don't get me wrong. But he's not worth the money, and he's definitely going to cost us in the long run because we can't get rid of him, and all that money is, cap space.
Yep.
Anyways, moving on to the Minnesota game. I don't think we chose a winner.
all that is really good for Minnesota is the fact that there will be Zeke will be in Minnesota next year.
Pollard was in Minnesota last week, and he ran all the way. Yeah, they were in Minnesota. He tore it up, man.
It's probably going to be there. That would probably what happens. The Vikings are like, we need Pollard now. He can't beat us if he's on our team.
Let me tell you something, man. He at free agent, he is going to demand some good money, and he is going to end up in a team that's probably pretty good, man. Some team that's a contender. Don't be surprised.
Yeah.
Don't seem surprised if this guy ends up somewhere like Miami or
Buffalo.
Buffalo, sure, why not?
Yeah.
Somewhere like that where they're going to use him because he's good on the pass too, right? So It's going to be
Can
exciting.
he throw the ball
him,
forward?
man.
Can he be the Chicago Bears backup quarterback?
Oh, anybody can be the Chicago Bears. Running back, put on that quarterback jersey. But anyway, so this game, New England and Minnesota. Look,
that we spent no time talking about at all.
Yeah, I'll go quick though. I think Minnesota's going to be on tilt, to be honest. And I think if anyone can push their buttons and figure out how to get them and keep them frustrated, it's going to be Belichick. Belichick is a smart guy. He's watching.
Uh-oh.
There's the Cousins we know and love. So yeah, I'm going to go with the Patriots. I really am. I think Belichick wins this one. The Patriots. Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening to you. I'm going to go with the Vikings for the exact opposite reason. I think that this is a team everyone's saying that they are not good enough. Who did you beat? And I think that this is the team. I think the Patriots team is bad. I think that Belichick might be 2 points of fantasy relevance, but he's not 3. And they need 3 to be Cook, Jefferson, and Cousins. That's what I think. So I'm going to go with the Vikings. But again, hats off to Belichick. He's done an amazing. This might be the best coaching job he's done.
That defense is playing well this year, though, man. The England defense is not doing bad at all.
But it ain't Cowboy good.
I think they have more in fantasy world. I think they have more points in the Cowboys defense. Think about that. Think about that.
And our bringing back 1960s football, the Russell Wilsons are taking on we don't even know who their quarterback's going to be. Sam Darnold's.
It's not PJ Peanut Butter.
Does it matter?
It doesn't.
Whatever quarterback that Carolina throws out versus.
Listen, this game in itself, again, this is the one you don't watch, right? I mean, I'm not trying to be mean, but yeah, it's true. You're whatever quarterback the Panthers is playing, right? Roll the dice who you get. Darnell, Mayfield, Peanut Butter Swear, whatever his name was. Does it matter? And then you go across the field and say, wow, well, fill in the blank here too, because it's Russell Wilson, and is he even really a quarterback anymore, right? You'd literally be better off letting the running back play quarterback. Wilson is bad, and I gave you that little tidbit earlier that I read today. Flacco hasn't played since week 3, and he's got 2 more touchdown passes than Wilson. That's crazy.
But that's because Flacco's calling plays for that team. Like, he's actually calling the Jets plays as opposed to the Seahawks plays in the huddle.
I got you.
Seahawks ring 3 on 2, and the wide receivers are like, what?
Seahawks special. Who? Yeah. Just throw it to Metcalf. I'm going to throw it to Metcalf.
Exactly. Lockett, get open. I need you open. My name's not Lockett.
Something's up with. I mean, I've said it. We all said it. Russell fits into one of the quarterbacks that has to retire already, man. Look, man, he's embarrassing himself. Let's be honest. How do you come back from this horrible season, man? And you can't say, all right, well, he's a second-year quarterback. He'll get better. He's a rookie quarterback. He'll get better. Like some.
No, this is a vet, and he's got to have hooked on phonics for playbooks. Like that's not good.
No, he's done, man. He's done. You don't come back from this. You don't have that. Oh, he'll get better. No, man. He's lost a step. He's football world. Maybe I don't know. What do they call the CTIs or whatever, the concussions?
The traumatic brain injury.
I mean, I think I don't know if that's what it is, but I think Russell Wilson is done, man. He's proven it, man. I know he's only 30 something, but he's playing out there like he has dementia, bro, and that's messed up.
Yeah. He's
got to go. Again,
but they're stuck with him. Like this was the Broncos were like, this is the missing piece, and instead it's the missing link, and that's just not good.
Well, the Broncos try to roll the dice and recreate magic, the Peyton Manning magic, right?
Peyton Manning magic. Yep.
It's not going to happen. On the other flip side of it, the Seahawks got the Herschel Walker trade. right? I mean, the Herschel Walker trade for the Cowboys was huge. It spurred 3 Super Bowl championships, a dynasty, whatever you want to call it.
They didn't quite get that many draft picks, but no, they got a nice hand helping from the Broncos, who are going to do without first round picks for a bit.
Yeah, I mean, but still, look at what the Seahawks have a lot to build on with what they got.
Yeah,
you still got Metcalf, Lockett. You got a running back in Seattle right now, a rookie that's looking phenomenal.
you've also got the one that gets hurt all the time, so you can trade him and get a draft pick.
You really just need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Even that.
Which you now have via the Broncos' bad picking. I mean, the Broncos are going to be in the top 5 or 10 picks. So
yeah. So that number 1 draft pick, that first, maybe,
yeah.
I hate to put it that way, but maybe it will be the number 1 draft pick for the Seattle Seahawks.
I mean, they got a ways to get to the Texans, because Texans only won 1. But yeah, it's potential,
It's funny though. You ever watch that movie? Was it Draft Day?
Yes.
Between Cleveland and Seattle and all that.
Yeah.
It's like Seattle is now the part that Cleveland played, right? They're getting all the goodies, man. They really are. And I think that if they're smart, they use their, let's be honest, top 5 pick maybe they'll end up with.
Yeah.
For sure. Come on. Denver ain't gonna win many more games, dude.
Mm-mm.
In fact, I'll tell you right now. But anyways, that top 5 pick for Seattle is a quarterback, man. A franchise quarterback, probably. You hope.
Well, at least a shot at one, right? Like, you take shots at him, you never know you're going to get him or not.
Sure. You never know anything anymore, right?
Yeah.
Via Ryan Leaf. But yeah.
I'm glad you didn't say Trevor Lawrence. Thank you for that.
Look, Sunshine's not bad. He's gonna be a great backup quarterback in Cleveland. So where are we again? Denver and Carolina. Man, this team. Obviously, Denver has a better defense than Carolina, hands down. The problem is defense. You want to win, the defense has to score points, and they're not, there yet. They're a good defense. They stop other teams, but Russell. That's the sad part, bro. So let's go look at here. This is something I wanted to see. Let's go look at the Denver Broncos games. Right. So let me look at it. Let me look at their schedule because this is going to be a good point. So week 1, all right, they lose to Seattle 16-17, all right? So the defense held the team to 16 points. Week 2, they beat Houston. Do you really count that? And that was just 16-9, by the way. All right, week 3, they beat San Fran 11-10, which, okay, thank you, defense, for stopping San Francisco to only 10 points, and offense mustered up 11 points. Week 4, okay, the Raiders, again, not a really great team, but they lost 23-32.
In the 49ers game, did they hit a 2-run homer to get ahead?
Really well. Here's the Indianapolis game, week 5. They lose 9-12, bro. So again, the defense does their job. The offense just couldn't muster more than 9.
No. The defense is doing historically well, right?
Correct. So you get my point.
Yeah, they have a Super Bowl caliber defense, and they have fantasy relevance. Sutton, the wide receivers are Judy's good. Like they are Gordon until I don't know what happened. Like he just stopped holding onto the football.
They cut him today.
But that was because he kept dropping the football. Like he was the problem. Obviously, it's Gordon dropping the fumble is the reason why we couldn't score.
But that compounds that offense even worse, though, right?
Yeah.
You've got old man Wilson back there forgetting what team he's at, and then you got Gordon coughing it up. Like, oh my God, this team, bro.
Yeah.
This team has problems on offense. Whoever is your front office has really got to be looking around, going like, all right, who are we canning for this? Someone's got to be blamed for this tragedy of a football team that we have right now. Like, how the owner's sitting there going, how did I let them convince me that Russell Wilson was, like, oh my God, I'm firing people. So, long story short, but believe it or not, even though the Panthers are just as trash, I'm going to go with the Panthers this week. As long as Russell Wilson is their quarterback, and I know well, man, let me rethink that. Because the defense is the defense. But you know what? If Russell Wilson if they can score 2 touchdowns, they win. If they score 1 touchdown, they lose. I don't think the Broncos can score 2, so I'm going to go with the Panthers.
Okay.
I'm going with the Panthers. I think Darnell comes in, and he's got a lot to prove, right? So you got a quarterback on the other side that's getting a chance to step up and prove himself in the NFL again. I think he comes out and he plays better than than what's across the field, hands down. I know the defense is good, but I think the Panthers score 2 touchdowns and win this game, 14-5. Safety by the defense in a field goal by the offense.
So you're going
I'm
Panthers.
taking the Panthers. I'm going Panthers.
Yeah, I can't. As bad as Russell Wilson is, and I see the exact opposite. I literally see the Broncos winning at like a 7, or it's got to be something weird, like an 8-3 game. So I have zero faith in Sam Darnold, and the fact that the Panthers have actually flipped the quarterbacks a couple times. They threw PJ in one time and he was like 1 for 9 with 2 picks at halftime. So the funny thing is what you said. The Broncos, they have a Super Bowl caliber defense. They are a quarterback and or a running back now away from having a competent team, and being a very good team. The Panthers do not. They're not on the Broncos level on defense. They're not on offense. They don't even have the parts that the Broncos have. So I'm going to go with Russ throws a ball, it bounces off a Panthers defender, and they score a touchdown and they win.
Bro, they're 3-7. All right, they're 3-7, and they played plenty of teams that probably shouldn't have beat them, and they lost to.
Yes.
Right, so.
But they're both 3-7.
I'm still going with the Panthers.
Broncos at home.
In battle of the somewhat football teams, I'm going with the Panthers.
Could your team have taken them? We'll give week 1 of the playoffs, not the week 2 after they had partied it up. So
the Panthers.
All right, we've got the Browns and the Bucs.
Oh boy, another one. And I say another one because here we are. Like, I wish the NFL can flex, not just flex schedule to see what's on TV. Like, all right,
this flex a game completely off the schedule.
Yeah, like Carolina and Denver.
We're gonna give you guys both the tie.
Right, you're both losing to the bye this week. So this is another one. Look, you're gonna look at fantasy relevance.
Well, wait a minute. So is this the week that Deshaun comes back? Because we were wrong last week.
It is, right? He plays it.
Yeah.
Doesn't he? That changes things. It really does. Look,
Although the Brisket had like 400 yards last week.
Correct, and he hasn't done a bad job at all. So, does it change things? Honestly, look.
I think it's for the worse.
Maybe. I mean, if Deshaun had been playing, would his numbers be much different than what Brisket has right now? Maybe some more yardage, but look, he's thrown 11 touchdowns, only 5 picks.
A ton more running,
for sure. You add that element, right? You add the element that Deshaun Watson can run the ball, and he's not a running back playing quarterback. He's definitely a quarterback. He's, Patrick Mahomes and stuff like that, right? Like he can definitely run the ball, throw the ball. He is a multifaceted quarterback, which is great, a dual threat, as you say, which is awesome. And you know how much I love dual threat quarterbacks, but does it really matter? Like, you're fitting him into a slot that's already doing okay at quarterback. There's something else going on in the Browns, and it's the curse of the Browns, bro. It really is.
Where quarterbacks go to die. So let's put it with the Cowboys. You guys were good with Cooper Rush, but are you a little better with Dak? I mean,
yes.
The question is a guy who hasn't played a meaningful football game in 2 years, is he going to be better than a guy who just threw for almost 400 yards and is like warm and doing probably the best that he's done in his career? Like he's
not
actually doing decently, right?
Not this week.
Correct.
I don't agree. I don't think you can take 2 years off, come into real-time game time play
and be like, and with no practice with your teammates and be like, oh, you're wide open. I think he's going to be overthrowing balls, underthrowing balls. Yeah.
So, yeah, well, again, then, there is no difference at quarterback, right? Other than the detriment. Correct.
Yeah, correct.
So it's not really helping, obviously. But there's something, what I mean by curse of the Browns, the Browns are never really good. They have a few seasons where they're okay, and then one season where they're like, oh my God, the Browns, and then we're back to trash again. And it sucks to say that because they have such a good talented team. And maybe, man, maybe they're turning the corner a little late at 3-7, but you look at fantasy relevance, and you got to count Brisket. He's got 238 38 or whatever yards. He's 202,398. He's got 11 touchdowns and 5 picks, so not bad on the touchdown pick ratio.
No.
You've got Chubb, who's 928 yards, 11 touchdowns. You got Hunt, who, by all intents and purposes, not a bad running back, although he's not doing great this season, but he's overshadowed by Chubb. What do you expect?
Yeah.
Then you've got Cooper and Donald People-Jones, who's starting to pick up his game big time too. So they've got good weapons. Had Watson been here all season, I think the Browns look a little different. But on the flip side of that, though, the Browns defense has not been playing like the Browns defense should be playing, right?
Yes.
Not
with Clowney, not with all that talent on the defensive
last
line.
Week they looked great, sure, but they played last week. Let me look, because my brain doesn't work that way. They played the Bills, bro. I mean, think about that. So, are the Browns showing up? Maybe they're starting to get better. Like we said, maybe at 3-7 a little too late. But now you're throwing that flip coin in there, right? Like, oh well, y'all are doing great. Brisket, man, you did awesome, 400+ yards, great job. Sit down. It's Deshaun time, right? Like, I was gonna call him something, but we'll say that. But now he's in there, and you're right. It's a detriment. Now you got a guy that doesn't have the timing down with Cooper. The locker room, who knows how they feel about him, right? There's got to be guys that probably hold an opinion to what he was accused of or whatnot,
Yeah.
But maybe not, man, because look, you think that Deshaun's the only guy in the NFL? Well, he was justly accused. Don't get me wrong. He did what he did. But there's guys in the NFL that probably have to put up with a lot of stuff that some true, some isn't true. There's probably other guys in the NFL that, look, man, you've got girls throwing themselves at you all over the place. And that's true.
I do know that, yes.
So it's hard. You may have a night with a girl because she wanted you and you did that. And then the next 2 days, they say, hey, there's someone suing you because they say you sexually assaulted her.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that whatever these ladies put up, it's been proven that it's fact. So be it. Now, I don't know if there's going to be a lot of guys in that locker room that say, man, this is a sexual deviant or not.
Well, the difference is one is okay. 47, not, it's a little different. But
it's a little serial deviant. But yeah, there's going to be guys that maybe don't like him, and maybe that affects the way they play. Who knows?
Well, and winning cures all ills. And the thing is, if Deshaun Watson comes in and he runs for 200 yards because he's got fresh legs and he can't hit the broadside of a barn, and he throws a few timely plays and he beats Tom Brady, all will be forgiven and everyone will love him and it will be great. Flip side, if he throws 8 picks, they're going to go, well, what did we give up Brisket for?
Yeah, exactly. For this tickler guy, it's
yeah.
not going to work for us.
And so winning will cure all ills. However, they're playing Tom Brady and the Bucs, who are 5-5, and they desperately want to stay above. And I just don't see Watson coming in and after 2 years and knocking all the rust off enough to beat Brady. Now Brady's not the Brady of even a year ago.
Look, we say that, but look at Brady's stats, bro. He's got 2,800 yards, 12 touchdowns, and only 2 picks. For a guy going through what he's going through, he ain't throwing a lot of picks. So, man, look, Brady's a professional, bro.
Yeah.
As he's starting to look his age, yeah, man, all these quarterbacks are. That's what we've been saying that. Not just me, you, everybody. They all are. Wilson, Brady. They're all Aaron Rodgers.
We've got a color commentary job open, guys. If you're worried about it, we've got a spot for you guys.
We're also looking for a other than dime store stats guy. But yeah, look, Brady is Brady, bro. He's not going to come in there and I can't say the word. I'm trying to hold back the words. And soil the bed. Just not what I was looking for, but you can you can imagine the explicit. Anyway,
the fecal matter is not going to hit the bedstand.
No, man. Brady's a professional. Is he showing his age? Yeah, probably. He's probably been showing it for the last 3 years and still better than most quarterbacks in the NFL. this team, White is coming around running the ball a little bit better. Fournette's looking. They've got a stable of receivers still, bro. This team is good. It's still good. The defense is playing not so bad, right? I mean, I think that's really why they're probably 5-5. Uh, you can't sit there and say, well, this game, this and that. Look, if the Browns play like they played last week against the Bills, they win this game.
Yeah.
Will they?
I
think not.
I don't think so.
I don't. I think Watson's going to mess that up bad. I don't think the time. And man, maybe we're wrong, and Watson comes out and throws for 8,000 yards and 42 touchdowns.
It could happen. And I mean the Browns on paper, the Browns should be whooping the Patriots or the Buccaneers line. Like on paper, they're that the Patriots lines are bad, which is part of the problem.
I mean, the Browns offense, is number 5 rushing. That O line is tearing it up, right?
Yeah.
They're gaining that much yard because the O line is playing. Their passing game, not great, but not bad by any means. Obviously, Briskett's not doing bad. On the flip side of that, the Buccaneers aren't playing a great defense. Honestly, this game, based on if Brisket was still playing, I would definitely go Browns. I really would. I think Brady's showing his age a little bit, but I think what's going to hurt the Browns this week is the defense isn't playing very well. Let's start off with that, and they're not playing well enough to stop Tom Brady. And on the and your offense isn't going to outscore them with Watson playing. They're just not. So, to me, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers take this game. They really do. The defense on the Cleveland side just isn't good enough to stop Brady. The offense was definitely good enough to outscore the Bucs, but you're putting Watson in there, and I think it's gonna impact that team in a big way. So I'm going with the Bucs. And you're right, in a must-win game if they still want to have some chance at the playoffs.
Correct. So I'm going the Bucs too. Although if I were the Browns coach, I might want to try the run and just see if my quarterback and my 2 running backs can just run over the Bucs and see if they can stop it. But
I mean, you do have Watson. That's a dynamic 1-2 punch in the game on the run game now.
Yeah, they might set rush for 500 and 600 yards, and we'll be like, wow, the Browns won. Threw for 3, and that was Fournette threw it.
Yeah.
All right. We got
Bucs.
The Bengals and the Titans.
Oh boy.
Say what you want, but Tana Thrill was like, I got this, boys. And Derrick Henry kind of ran it too.
Well, you already know that. That is what the Titans have, right? Titans are going to be all Derrick Henry. Hands down. That's the truth. Now, on the flip side of that, on the Cincinnati side, I was about to call him Cleveland for some reason to stop myself. Mixon is out with concussion. Whether he plays or not, yet to be seen. Perrine, how do you say his name? Had a hell of a game.
He did.
Scored 3 touchdowns, tore it up. He was the hottest pick on the waiver wire this week because they think Mixon's going to have a head contusion. And Burrow's a great quarterback. I mean, dude, 2,800 plus yards, 22 touchdowns, 8 picks. I mean, that's a lot of touchdowns already, bro. 22, that's pretty good. Mixon obviously is probably out, but Perrine stepped in well, and he has before. The receiver core is great for Cincinnati. We've talked about the O-line being a little bit weak here and there. I don't think the Titans' defense is good enough to keep Burrow on his back, like you've said in the past. I do think that run game is phenomenal, but the Bengals' defense isn't bad either. Can they slow down Henry? That's hard to do, period. Whether you've got a great defense or not, slowing down Henry is tough. And I get it. I know that the pass game showed up a little bit. But, this game, Burrow's a winner, bro. That's what I'm trying to say here. Burrows is a winner, bro. He really is. He's been a winner in college. He's come into the NFL and been a winner. I think this team was one of the teams I said would maybe make it back to that championship game. So, not necessarily Super Bowl, but I'm going to go with the Bengals. I don't want to go long-winded on it again because, man, we could be long-winded. But I think the Bengals offense is too much for the Titans defense. I think the Titans really is centered around Henry, and if you can figure out how to stop that, then you beat them. Will you stop him completely? Hell no. He's still going to get his 100+ and his 2 touchdowns, but as long as that's all you're giving him and you're outscoring it, you'll be fine. And the Bengals can definitely put some points up. So the Bengals.
So do your fantasy relevance. On the Titans, you got Derrick Henry, which is worth 7 points. And on the Bengals side, you got Jamar Chase, which is 2 points, Burrow, who's 2 points, and you got Perny, who is like 7. right. Based on last week alone. So it's the Bengals are up 14-7 by my book. They overcame the early season kind of lumps, and now they're 6-4, and I think that they're in a good spot.
I agree.
So when I look at the Titans, all I see is Derrick Henry. It's Derrick Henry this, Derrick Henry that, and I see the Bengals just putting up too much points. The Titans have played. The Titans are playing what they like to do: run the ball and stop the run. Neither of that is effective against the Bengals, right? Like you can run the ball, we don't care because we're going to outthrow the ball on you and win. So I think the Bengals are going to win as well. I also want the Bengals to win, so that makes it easier.
There you go, then. Yeah, because you're a Titans hater.
I am a Titans hater.
All right, hater. Moving on.
So the chat wants to know about the Texans and the Dolphins for some ungodly reason.
Oh, God. What's Texans and the Dolphins? Well, let me look at this game. Is that where we're headed next?
You have to look at this game?
Let me tell you something. I picked the Texans once. No, I picked them twice. I was wrong once and right once, I think. Yeah, come on now. Is it even fair to say let's look at
No.
No, it's really not. I mean, come on now. Look, one team they beat 18 they lost again. The one tie was like, man, how did we tie this?
Well, the one team was my team, so damn it, that sucks.
True. So yeah, I mean, the Texans are bad. They just benched their starting quarterback for some other guy that nobody knows. The guy out of seat 52, row 18, section G. So yeah, the Texans are horrible. This should not be a game where Miami even gets close to losing. Tua's a beast. What is there to say here? I don't even think we have to spend a lot of time on it. This is the Dolphins. Texans are a bad team that, somebody's high school JV team might have a chance against. So yeah, the Dolphins. Period.
Yeah, it's historically bad. So the Dolphins are at home. They've got Tua's playing out of his mind. You got Hill, which is everything that he was supposed to be and more. You got Waddle, who's doing great. You got Gesicki, who's doing great. Really, they don't have a running game, but it doesn't seem to stop them any. They burst score points. I mean, they should handily beat the Texans. So, sorry, chat, if you wanted something interesting, but I don't think, unless you guys are expecting the Texans to do something strange, you guys should beat the crap out of them.
The bonus the Texans have is their running back. He had a bad game last week.
Is he from Texas? I've heard he's from Texas. Is he? Is he a Texas guy? All right.
Moving on. The Dolphins. Yeah.
And now everyone knows. They just wanted our take. Then they now know how smart we are because they're like, yeah, duh.
For sure. I mean.
And then on Sunday, the Texans win 35-3.
Wow. The only way they win is if Tua gets a second concussion, and that ain't happening. Tua's got his head on a swivel.
I think Bridgewater could take out the Texans, but
at this point, I think Joe Montana could take out the Texans. He doesn't even play football anymore.
Joe Montana.
Yeah. Moving on.
All right, Bears and your uncle's favorite team, the Jets, Jets.
Let me tell you, bro. So there's Uncle Rico's word, and he said it in Spanish. Translate in English because if I
can you say it in Spanish? Just say it in Spanish first, because that'd be awesome.
Which means I shut the bed, right? I messed up. He says I wasn't gonna bet that week. I bet that week. I said, but you've been betting every week. He says, I know, but he was drunk. Almost didn't make the bet, and then he somehow miraculously got his bet in. He said, man, I should have just stayed drunk and not made the bet. Long story short, he's doing it again. So he started a new $1,000 bet. I don't think they're the the underdog on this one, so I don't know how this one's going to pay. You know, bet at that. I don't know. I got to go look at what
Bet
the odds are. I
$1,000,
think
you
it's
get
bet 1,000 to win
$897
$400. I don't know what the
back.
odds are on this one. No, you win anyways, right? But
Yeah.
I mean, he lost what 7,500 on this last one.
I think that's what you were saying he had in his pocket when he bet.
Well, that's what he had in his betting his account thingy.
Yeah.
By the way, this is all pretend.
This
It's
is
not legal in Texas, so he is not betting in Texas.
correct. He's betting in one of the states that is legal. I'm not sure which one.
He lives in Vegas.
Yes.
Well,
Vegas.
Vegas,
did he get any information from Calvin this week? Making sure Ridley's staying clean.
Or as he likes to call him, El Calvin. El Calvin.
El Calvin. No.
El Calvin told him, let it ride on the Jets, baby. Bet him again. So he's running with the Jets again.
Do you think if he Calvin Ridley went on that Jimmy Fox commercial, if he went on that one and gave him advice if the commissioner would like lose his mind?
Oh boy.
Wouldn't that be the funniest commercial of all time though?
Oh, if he wants to play in the NFL again, he probably wouldn't do that, right?
Probably not.
Dude, I'll tell you what though. These Jets are something else, man. I like watching the games. I like watching them play. They're an exciting team. Their coach is awesome. I really like this team. I told you, Jets are like my second team, but this game is going to be, again, one they win. One, and I'll tell you why they win.
Because Joe Flacco.
Chicago Bears. No, because the Chicago Bears are playing without their best running back, who, by the way, is also their only quarterback. He's hurt, isn't he? Isn't he out, Justin Fields?
Is that a bad thing? Like,
yes, of course it is. That's all the offense they have.
Is Justin Fields left, right, center?
Pretty much. I mean, their playbook has 4 plays, right? Justin Fields right, Justin Fields left, Justin Fields up the middle, Justin Fields throws a 5-yard pass. I mean, there's not much to it, but yeah, I do think it hurts the Bears. Obviously, I know their defense is pretty good, but this is definitely going to hurt them. Dude, they have the number one, or on this thing anyway, they say, their rushing offense is first. Yeah, because it's all Justin Fields, man.
Yeah.
That's their best running back. The second best running back they have in stats is Herbert, and he's on injured reserve.
I heard a story that, like, with the opposing coach was like, they were just beating the tar out of the Bears, and they're like, dude, just stop running. Like, at some point, man, you're going to get hurt. Like, stop. You're down 40 points. Like, throw the ball occasionally.
He's hurt. He's out this week, I believe. So, I mean, damn, think about that. He went week 11, 18 carries, 85 yards, and a touchdown. That's nuts, bro.
So, I think you're going to go with the Jets.
Oh, well, you already knew that. Definitely. The Jets look good, man. Look, they don't have a starting quarterback this week. They don't have any running back that you can really name. They have a receiver that, do they really have? They have nothing, bro. They have zero relevance on offense. Zero.
Hey, I will keep James Robinson on my bench out of respect.
Well, their defense playing okay, but they really don't have much. You should start running Robinson at the Jets. I don't know why they haven't ran him more, but they really don't have anything, bro. They're not a great team on paper, anything else, but they're 6-4, man. That's what I said before. This team is playing for each other. They're playing for something else. It's exciting to watch a team with JV talent per se, right?
Yeah.
And they're out there winning games, bro.
They are definitely better than the sum of their parts. However, all that was based on camaraderie and all that fun stuff, and I wonder if that's going to crap with the whole quarterback thing.
Well, maybe if that spark is dimmed by this quarterback situation, then yeah, I think the Jets start dwindling and start thinking about, man, we could have the number 1 pick again. Look at us wasting all our time. We
could beat the Texans because we have a 0 fantasy relevance.
I'm going with the Jets.
This is another one that you're like, man, like, who's the Bears quarterback?
I don't know who's starting for him. It's a good question.
But even if whoever he is, there's not a lot of film on him. Is that better than the Jets' unknown, Joe Flacco or White or whoever they're throwing out at quarterback? So, because I think all they said was Wilson's not starting. I don't think they said Flacco was starting.
I don't know. I didn't read to see who was starting, but I'll tell you this much. if they start passing, the Jets will be a little bit better, bro. Like if they start, I'm not that they start passing, but if they get a quarterback that come out and throw the ball a little bit better than Wilson,
Yeah.
they got good receivers. They've got the Jets. I'm sorry, I'm talking about the Bears.
That Bears.
If they get a quarterback that can actually throw the ball, they've got great receivers. They got awesome tight end.
Yeah.
Right.
Komet's good. Claypool's good. Like,
back.
yeah, if you, like maybe that's like Seattle in the off season when we were like, no one wanted to take Metcalf and Lockett because they're like, well, who's going to throw him the ball? And then come to find out they're good receivers anyhow. but the Bears, Justin's that bad of a quarterback, right? So
he's a running back.
Yeah. So
the Jets.
I'm gonna pick the Bears just because I need some wins.
How dare you?
And I think the spark is gone. I think that this quarterback thing is gonna, and we're gonna see a return to Jets football as we normal. I mean, because they're like Cleveland, right? Like they're very aligned with the Jets. Do okay a couple years, and then they're back to mediocrity, right? So,
correct.
I'm gonna go with the Bears, who also can't find the quarterback.
I'm running with Uncle Rico.
Your 5-6 Falcons versus your 6-5 Commanders in the NFC last place.
Jesus. This game. Washington's looking a little. It's not a bad game. Both teams have looked a little bit better recently. The Falcons still have Mariota, who doesn't have great yards, 1,800 plus, 13 touchdowns, 7 picks. Algiers, whatever, and Patterson together are not a bad little running combination. Patterson is back. I think is he hurt again?
Did he get a punt return for a touchdown or a kickoff return?
He's a bad dude, period. London, the rookie receivers ain't bad, but in general, this team, I mean, some of these games are just like, these teams, bro. Like, I know they have to play each other, but are people really watching some of these games other than their fans? And there's not many right now. Who's really watching the Falcons and the Commanders play this weekend? Right? I mean, you can go through all these games and say like, not.
Well, but they're also not on TV, right?
So, true, but they're on local.
They're on local, yeah, exactly. Because their fans are going to watch. Like, I haven't seen a Falcons game on TV here and forever.
True, but if you're a fan of football, right, and you're looking at the whole schedule, I mean, there's some games where like, why are you even playing that? Like Miami, Houston, why? Right, like just give Miami the winner. Like, hey, sorry, Houston, this is just a loss for you. There's no chance for you. And I get it, you got to play the game and all that, but some of these games are like, Jesus, that's gonna be a boring game. Can you imagine if it's the only game you get to watch? Like, ugh, that's crazy. But anyways, this game, another game brought to you by the boring effect of football. This one's going to be a little bit dumb also. Fantasy relevance, I don't think that other than Cordell Patterson, the Falcons have anything. Commanders on the other side, I'm not sure what they have either, to be honest. Together, maybe Samuel McLaurin make a good receiver. Their running game is kind of Their quarterback is definitely 1,400 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 6 interceptions. I mean, that's crazy, bro. These teams aren't very good at all in general. But I know you got to pick a team. So I'm going to go with the Falcons because their running game is better. Once again, the Falcons because better running game.
Is
the end. Just the Falcons.
Is that why you picked them last time?
I chose the Bears last time for a better running game than the Falcons. But in this game, I think the Falcons have a better running game than not. To be honest, the Washington's receiving game isn't bad. And they use Samuel a lot as in the backfield, which is kind of weird and great. But, man, maybe I shouldn't take the Falcons. I honestly don't know who to take in this game. I think both are pretty But Washington is 6-5 and they're for the NFC East. So, yeah, you know what? Before I do final answer, I'm going with the Washington Commanders. I talked myself out of it.
I'm going to also do the Commanders because they're at home.
There you go. Good choice.
That is the only reason. I mean these are middling teams, right? Hey, I think the Falcons are doing better than they should. I don't think they're a 5-6 team. I think that the talent pool is less. I think the Commanders are also doing better than their 6-5 is pretty good. I mean, the entire NFC East is stacked. So good for both of them. But somebody's got to win. I'm gonna take the home team.
There you go. Commanders is across the board. In the game of.
All right. Lamar Jackson and his Ravens are going to Jacksonville and the game of the century.
7-3 and 3-7. I'll give you one guess who's 3-7.
If I didn't know any better, it would not be my team.
Well, I've said this before. The only good thing your Jaguars have going from right now is the Frenchman.
Etienne? Is that my name?
Yes. He is that's a great running back, bro. I think that guy's got some great. He's gonna have a future in the NFL, that's for sure. Your O line isn't too bad either. They help him out, but your quarterback is. He's not like, oh my god, he sucks. He's not at the peanut butter and jelly, level over there with the Falcons or whoever you want to call quarterback over there, or the Panthers. I'm sorry, but he's not great either. Not yet. Maybe he's still learning. Maybe he's young. Maybe he gets better. But he's got 2,300 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 6 picks, which isn't as bad as other quarterbacks in the NFL right now. But he just, man, I don't know. When I watch your team play, Sunshine doesn't inspire me. Like, he is not like, wow, that's a great quarterback. He looks like, honestly, somebody let their kid play quarterback because they own the team, right? Like, hey, my daddy owns the team, so I'm the quarterback. That's what he reminds me of, man. He just doesn't have the look or feel of a great NFL quarterback, and what that is, or I don't know, right? Because there's all shapes, sizes of people that play quarterback, but you look at Mahomes, right? And the guy's dynamic, right? He's exciting to watch, and his team rallies around him, and they love him. You watch Allen, big, prototypical quarterback that'll barrel down the field, run the ball. He doesn't carry.
God, people love that linebacker over the guy, right? Yeah.
Right. So there's quarterbacks out there like that are just, inspiring people and their team, and like and you look at Lawrence, it's like, oh look, somebody let their little sister play quarterback.
No, it's like a corporation. It's like he was raised to be a football guy. Like, he was the best in high school. He was the best in college. He's coming to the NFL now. It's a polished brand. Like, there's no... I don't even know if he likes football, but what I do know is that everybody says you will like football. He's got a cannon of an arm. He makes some beautiful throws that you go, wow, that's why he was picked number 1 overall. So, and he is getting better. The question is if you get a guy
where's the spark?
Yeah, the question is, if you got the Jets who are 6-4 and they're sparkling all over the place, and you got the Jags with the number 1 overall pick who's supposed to be the franchise defining quarterback, and they're 3-7. What the F is going on? Is it and the only thing as a fan that I can hope is that Urban Meyer was so bad that Doug Peterson had to come in and say, everything that you learned, I need to remove from your brain, and you need to start from scratch. And if you take that look and you look at the stats from year 1 to year 2, and you go, wow, there's an upward progression in year 3, this guy is going to be special. Like, if you do that, that is the only way this all works out. Otherwise, it is another failed first round pick, and we're drafting again, and we're in Cleveland Central. I don't know any of that matters, because this game is going to be down to Lamar Jackson, right? And him running like mad, and us stopping that. And our defense has had moments, but I don't know we can stop Lamar Jackson for the whole game. And our offense is not mature enough to put up anywhere more than 17 to 20 points. Like, that's the range. We are going to score 17 to 20. If it's more than that, we are going to lose.
I hate to break it to you. You're going to lose this game, period. I don't think that, again, I hate to harp on the fact that I just don't think Sunshine has a spark. I think that you're right. He's a pretty boy in a pretty brand and polished and blah 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 blah. But he's not that. I'm gonna lead my team quarterback, bro. He's just not. Right? He's like, oh, put the pretty quarterback in there, and he fits a piece, but it's just not there. Now, again, you got that running back, bro, and I could say a lot about that. That's a great piece for your team, and I think that you should probably trade Lawrence away and get a real quarterback. Your team would be something special. Now, on the other side of that, you got a quarterback that has that spark, right? Lamar. He really does, man. Don't put him on interviews a lot because Jesus, he needs to take some lessons in speeches, right? Because you don't know if this guy, he's talking in the lot. I don't know what he's saying sometimes. But besides the point, on the field though, where it really counts, man, look, every team wants a quarterback that they know can put the team on his freaking back and drive it down the field and win a game for you. And I think they believe in Lamar like that.
Well, because look at last year, right? When Lamar went out, they were like first place, second place. After he went out, that's it. They didn't win another game. Like they lost like 6 or 7 in a row. So he's shown that he is the difference in this team.
Correct. But listen, all right, look at it this way. You're in a dark alley with 4 of your friends, right? And in that dark alley, you've got Lamar as your bruiser. You're feeling good, ain't you?
Yeah.
And here comes now. Are you gonna feel better with Lamar as your bruiser? You're saying, you know what? Let's go in this dark alley, but let's bring Trevor Lawrence with us. He's really got our back. Who do you want in that dark corner? You want Lawrence? You want Lamar?
But Lamar's been in the league a lot longer.
Man, does it really matter? Lamar, I get you. But Trevor Lawrence is what, 3rd year now?
Second
year. Oh, okay, well, still. I don't know. I'm just not. I just don't see him as like a. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It's your team. I don't think he's got what it takes to lead an NFL team. I don't think he leads this NFL team anywhere near beating the Ravens. I think the Ravens take this one handily. So handily, I'm going to give them a 28-14. And the only reason you get 14 points is because the Frenchman scores 2 touchdowns. I hope.
So my excitement is like the best case scenario is I think that Lawrence takes a step forward. Next year we get Ridley, a couple more draft picks in, and this team all gels and it all works together. That's my best case. I think we hung with the Chiefs last week. The Chiefs are special. We hung with them. It was obvious that they were a better team. We left a lot of points, and that's the part that kills me about my team is it's too young. We settled for field goals and made stupid, like we threw away a touchdown because we had a holding penalty. Like just the little dumb things that we, keep you from getting points on the board. Popped a couple field goals and didn't make them. So, but we still kept in there. It wasn't a blowout. The Chiefs are the best team. Like that's the cream of the crop. I think they're going to upset the Ravens, and I think they're going to do it because they're at home. And I think we're playing better. And I think at the end of the day, really all you have to do is stop Lamar. So I'm delusional. It's Thanksgiving. I'm picking my team.
Yeah, you're delusional, all right.
Yeah.
Lamar. I mean, the Ravens.
The Chargers and the Colt McCoys.
Let me tell you something. Arizona went and replaced one little person with a little Texan. Didn't make much of a difference. Colt didn't look very good last week. And on the other side, you got Herbert. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this team. Look, Hopkins is a beast. He is. But Hopkins, he gets open and quarterbacks.
He can't throw it to himself.
Correct, man. You just need a better quarterback. I think the Cardinals will catch on to that. Now, they're a lot better with Murray at quarterback than they are McCoy. But I don't believe he's playing still this week. Connor showed up a little bit this week. Didn't look great. Hopkins, man, he's only been back, what, 4 weeks? And he's already their top receiver in yardage. So
it's made all the difference in the world for the leagues I've had him, dude.
Oh, me too. I have him too. Trust me, it's a big thing. But long story short, the Cardinals aren't going to stop Herbert. Herbert is going to do very well. I think that the fact that it's not little people starting in Arizona is going to affect the way Hopkins plays. He did still have yardage with McCoy, but he didn't have any touchdowns, did he?
I don't think so.
I think he only had yardage. Anyways, this game hands down goes to the Chargers. I'm going to go with the Chargers in this one. There's not much more to say. I know the Chargers have no running game, but they need it. Herbert is a beast with the ball. So the
Well,
Chargers,
is Eckler hurt?
no, but it's Eckler.
But he's one of those scat backs, so he gets you passing yards.
Correct.
And then Murray's still not going to play, right?
Who?
Murray's not going to play.
No, I believe he's still out. And on the flip side, Allen is back for the Chargers. Mike Williams came and left. Palmer did okay. So that receiving core is there for Herbert, bro, and it's hard to stop.
I feel bad for the Chargers because they're like snake bitten, right? Like they play really well and they just can't. Like they've got 5 losses and they probably shouldn't have 5 losses. So I think that and they showed it with the Chiefs last week. They're neck and neck with the Chiefs. They're just slightly worse. And that might be way more Mahomes than they're slightly worse. I am happy that Hopkins is getting yards, and that's really all I see. The Cards are probably going to get beaten down on this one. So I'm going with the Chargers as well.
Well, there you go.
Sorry, little people. We miss you.
Sorry. Let us know how Oompa Oompa Land is going.
The Raiders and the Chiefs.
The Raiders and the Chiefs? What?
Am I messing you up?
I don't think you have that right. The Raiders and the Seahawks?
Oh.
Did you mess up?
No.
Are you flex scheduling the NFL?
I am flex scheduling. This is the teams I want to have. So who's next?
The Raiders and the Seahawks.
Raiders and the Seahawks.
Chiefs play the Rams, by the way. All right, so Raiders and the Seahawks, right?
Yeah, let's do that.
Sure. All right, sounds good. Flex schedule it. So Raiders and the Seahawks. Obviously, the Seahawks are playing much better. They kind of found a quarterback in Gino. How long that'll last, I don't know. I don't know if he's their franchise quarterback, but he's definitely playing great right now. He's got 24-74. He's got 17 touchdowns, only 4 picks. That's not bad, bro. He's doing really good. Their running back, Walker, the rookie, is doing great. He's 587 with 7 touchdowns. Lockett and Metcalf are playing like the receivers they should play like. This team's not looking bad, to be honest. Seattle's looking okay. Their defense, that's where their big problem is, right? Now, on the other side of that, you've got Carr, it's Carr, right? He's not per se doing horrible. He's got 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, 5 picks, which isn't bad at all. Jacobs is having obviously a contract year. He's
the contract year
for sure. Adams is there, and he's starting to light up, right? He's starting to clickety clack with Carr, and that could be very dangerous. However, the Raiders' defense is dismal as well. Both these teams have a trashy defense. Their passing game is going to be. I think the Raiders have the edge a little bit on the passing game, my opinion. Adams is someone to reckon with. He's a beast, but that's all they really have. But in the receiving core, right? If you stop Adams, Jacobs is going to kill you. So you can't just stop Adams because you got to respect the run game as well. This is going to be a pretty good game, believe it or not. Even though the Raiders are 3-7 and Seattle is 6-4, I think the Raiders show up and play some football in this game. I don't think it's going to be just like a blowout or anything like that. I think the Raiders are going to show up this game. Now, whether they win or not, I think Seattle's a little too much. Jacob, man, this is more evenly matched than it appears, honestly, record-wise. The Raiders do have a run game. They do have a pass game. They have a quarterback that can throw the ball. On the flip side, Seahawks have a quarterback that's throwing the ball well. They have a run game. They have receivers. So offensively, you see these teams, and I think they're evenly matched offensively. Then you look at the defenses, though, right? So both defense suck. So it's going to come down to who scores more points, whose defense makes that one stop to win this game. It's really going to be that close. I think this game is going to be decided by a touchdown. Where are they at? Are they at
Seattle?
They're at Seattle. I'm going with Seattle on this one. Had they been playing in Las Vegas, I might have taken the Raiders, but I think Seattle. Man, it's a tough one. Honestly, that's how on the fence I am about this game. You know how I've said my gut before. My gut says take the Raiders here. So, man, I've done it before. I'm going to do it again. I'm going to go with my gut. I'm taking the Raiders. You
I,
heard it. Raiders.
I think you're right. I think the Raiders are gonna hit some freak like Devontae Adams getting a long touchdown, something like that that's gonna make the difference. I think it'll probably be an entertaining game. It's gonna be back and forth, but I think the Raiders are gonna pull it out. I'm the thing that hesitates me is it's in Seattle and the 12th man and all that fun stuff, but I feel the Raiders are due. So
Star Raiders.
Chiefs and the Rams.
Now you got it right.
Now I got it right.
Let's see here. Chiefs and the Rams.
To be fair, the icons are very small.
The Rams have no quarterback playing. Right? Stafford is out. Concussion protocol or whatnot. He's out. The Rams just cut their leading running back, which wasn't by much. Think about it.
He had 1/4 of Justin Fields' yards.
So I mean, there's no quarterback, no the running back. I don't know who's left. Akers probably. Cooper Kupp is out. I mean, there's a lot.
They're giving the ball to Aaron Donald.
Look, I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this, man. You know the Rams aren't going to win this game. They don't look good on defense. They don't look good on offense. Well, defense they're okay. Let's not say they don't look good. They look okay on defense. They're not doing too bad, but their offense is horrible. Their pass game, their run game, everything is. And now you lose Cooper Kupp. You're starting quarterback. Come on now. I think the Chiefs take this one pretty easily. To be honest, it's not going to be a struggle game for the Chiefs. I think they're going to come out. You're going to have Kel score like 18 touchdowns. Mahomes throw for 3,200 yards. And their running backs still suck. So Pacheco maybe runs for 32 yards and a touchdown. But yeah, the Chiefs win this one hands down. There's not much to say more about the Rams that hasn't been said already. They're not a great team right now. They've lost starting quarterback, best receiver. They've got rid of a running back. There's nothing going well for the Rams right now. I think the Chiefs win this one easy. Now, again, when you have someone against their back against the wall that bad, all they can do is swing, and sometimes they get lucky and hit that knockout punch. Not today. Chiefs win this one.
You'd have to hit 4. Like, this is a guy with no glass jaw. Yeah, you'd have to hit like 4 lucky punches. Yeah. The Rams don't look like a team that won the Super Bowl last year, like at all. Their defense is dropped into middle of the pack, and that's by far the best thing on this team as far as a drop, right? Like you lose Cooper Kupp, he was 80% of your offense. Stafford has looked like an absolute shell, like he needs to join the retirement club. The running game has been just non-effective the entire year long. And even Aaron Donald looks like a mortal. Like there were times last year where he was like, triple teaming. I got this. And then on the flip side, Mahomes is just making plays and doing what needs to be done. And it's like a surgeon. They're just going in and cutting straight to the heart. Like we have it. The patient is dead. So yeah, I can't imagine the Chiefs blowing this one. So is what is.
For sure.
That Chiefs.
The Chiefs.
Saints of the 49ers.
The Chefs. You remember that?
Yeah.
Saints and 49ers. Oh my God, the 49ers look so awesome. They're going to win. No. Listen, they were playing Arizona. Let's be honest. Arizona's defense couldn't cover my grandma. She's been dead for 4 years. Right? It's not happening. I think the 49ers look good. Don't get me wrong. They've got pieces. I'm not trashing them 100%. They really do have pieces. And for some reason, they're a good team. They just, I don't know. I don't know what's up with them. People are trashing Garoppolo. He's 2159 yards. He's 15 touchdowns, 4 picks. They brought in McCaffrey, although Mitchell is running better than McCaffrey right now, but still. Samuel can run the ball when need be. You got Ayuk. You got Samuel. I mean, offensively, they've got fantasy relevance. I'd give Ayuk a point. I'd give Samuel a point. I'd give McCaffrey a point. Man, at this point in time, how do you not give Garoppolo a point with that? So they look great. On the other side, you got the Saints. The Red Rocket, okay, 1,800 yards, given he hasn't started all season, 14 touchdowns, 7 picks. Kamara is looking horrible on the ground, okay in the air. I mean, there's something just not right about the Saints, right? And you don't want to say, well, the 49ers look great based on what? Arizona? But in this game, and I hate to say this because I'd love to see the Saints do well. Maybe that's personal because, I've got Kamara and I've got Love, who's great rookie receiver right now. I don't see how the Saints beat the 49ers. I think the 49ers defense is much better than what the Saints offensive output is. I think the Saints offense is ranked higher, but uh, they're it's Dalton, bro. It's Dalton, right? It's Dalton, and that's really all you can say. They've got Hill, who they don't use right. Kamara just isn't being Kamara. He's had one great game this season. I don't see how they beat the 49ers. I think the 49ers' weapons are too much. Even if both defense sucked, which they don't by any means, the 49ers' defense isn't bad. I don't think that the Saints can outscore the 49ers. I think the 49ers take this one. Another big game for them, and maybe it starts at what am I looking for here? A rhythm or whatever for them that just
A streak.
snowballs.
This is it.
Snowball effect that pushes them into the playoffs and into the Super Bowl again. Who knows? But they've really got some nice weapons on offense. And again, people trashing Garoppolo, but look at him again, right? He steps in and he's doing great for them again. I don't understand what happened at the beginning of the season or why they started Lance over Garoppolo, but Garoppolo is definitely looking like the better quarterback. Obviously, well, Lance can't play, but he's looking great. I give it to the 49ers on this one. I don't think the Saints can muster much. I don't think Kamara is going to have a very big game, which sucks because you look at my fantasy lineup this week.
You need Kamara?
I'm in trouble. No,
Yeah.
I have a few players that are not facing teams that they can score against. So Kamara's not going to have a great game, and I hope he does. And I hope that Dalton checks down and Kamara has 45 receptions and 30 yards. But I'm going to go with the 49ers in this one.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the 49ers. It's really simple for me. The 49ers have one of the top defenses in the league. They have, like you said, Ayuk. They have who's turning it on. They've got Samuels, who's doesn't need to turn it on because he's been hot all year. They've got Kittle. They've got Juszczyk. They've got two running backs that any team would start. Their quarterback is competent. He's been to the stupid championship game. It's not like he's terrible. They're griping because they don't have a Mahomes or an Allen, and quite frankly, that's just not every quarterback. I mean, at some point on a team like this, you don't need. I mean, the Ravens won with, the Flaccos and the Dilfers of the world. So a team this stacked, you don't need to have the second coming of Joe Montana. They're a good team. They're coming on at the right time. I think you're right. I think the Saints would need all the breaks to go their way to not turn the ball over and for Garoppolo to suddenly be turnover happy. I just don't see it happening. 49ers are going to take this one.
Nice. Agreed.
The Packers and Aaron Rodgers' thumb against the Eagles.
Oh, boy. So apparently he's been playing with a broken thumb for 5 weeks. Or since week 5 or whatnot. Look. You got to give it up to Rodgers for playing with what he has, right? But he's not looking great. He's got 2,500 yards, 19 touchdowns, 7 picks. He's so hot and cold, too, right? They have a good game, bad game. They finally started using their running backs who aren't bad, man. Jones has 778 yards, Dylan 467. I mean, together, that's a hell of a stat for a running back right now, right? I mean, that's not bad. With only 3 touchdowns, which is amazing. The receiving core, Rodgers is doing it with. Look, man, there was a point in time where Rodgers had this guy on his team, that nobody knew, and now he's playing for the Raiders, right? But
rhymes with Slatums.
Yeah, you got to think that at one point Devontae wasn't anything either, and Rodgers, they built a relationship together. Did Rodgers make him a better receiver? You better believe he did, bro. There's no way you play on a team that has a quarterback like Aaron Rodgers and you don't become a better receiver. I think given time, these kids will become better receivers, but it's not going to happen this season. I think Rodgers, if you had Devontae still with the Packers, do you think that it would be a different story right now? Most definitely. He lost a huge part of that quarterback receiver chemistry. Man, you knew he was going to throw Devontae and you still couldn't stop it. So yeah, I get it, and I get it that Rodgers looks frustrated, and I think that's part of his age showing too, bro. To be honest, I think that Rodgers is starting to crack as far as some of the calm, collective patience he used to have. And I think that's happening because of age. Everything changes with age, bro. Your speed, your weight, your mentality, everything. Hormones, call it what you call it. But the Benjamin Button effect. Something's happened to Rodgers, and he's not the same quarterback. Obviously, he's frustrated. He's like, man, why did we let go of Devontae? Well, I get it, but this Packer team, and we've said it before, how they're calling their offense is just strange, man. How do you not use these two monster running backs the right way? Run the ball more. We've all said that, and I've had that theory that maybe Rodgers, calls his own number all the time, but I don't know, man. The Packers just don't look great, and that's unfortunate. I think they will get better. Is Rodgers showing his age and getting old? Should he be retired? I think Rodgers on a good day, if he is playing with a broken thumb, that can explain a lot. But Rodgers still has enough in the tank to be better than, 20 something other quarterbacks in the NFL,
Yeah.
right? So now, given this game, though, I think the Eagles have a pretty good team, right? Their defense is something else. They are a good defense. They do know how to come around and play the ball game. Their offense isn't bad either. Hurts to me is another running back playing quarterback, in my opinion. Although he's got 2,400 yards, 15 touchdowns, 3 picks, so maybe not. But he also has 440 yards and 8 touchdowns. Not bad for that's a red zone quarterback, running back. You know what I mean? That's a quarterback playing in the red zone, which is great. The receivers aren't bad either. It's the defense that really gets them in these games. What that says in translation, so I could be not so long, the Packers aren't a very good team right now. They're not good enough to beat the Eagles, and I think the Eagles take this game. The Eagles.
So I'm on the border of picking the Packers. The reason I can't is because last week they couldn't be the team they should have. The old Aaron Rodgers would have beat, and it's obviously his thumb. Like that's part of it. Like hey, having broken thumbs, I get it. You can't hold the ball. Like the ball comes out weird. It hurts. You let go of it. Gotcha. Okay. I'm not gonna pick them because they're at home, but the Eagles aren't 9-1. They're not that good. You're right about Hurts. Hurts is dangerous in the red zone. What's funny to me is that this team is the one you're going to watch in the playoffs, and someone else, like the 49ers, maybe, I don't know, another team is going to suffocate them in the playoffs. And they're going to say, look, they might get the first one down, but when they get to the championship and the divisional games, they're going to be a team that says, no, you're going to stay in the pocket and you're going to beat me with your arm. And they have problems with the better teams. The Eagles defense is legit. I will give you that. The Eagles have spots on the offense, but I do not think that I don't think they're a Super Bowl contender. Just period. I think they're gonna win one game in the playoffs. If that. So I would, if Rodgers wasn't hurt and showing like he lost to the Lions, like he didn't look effective last week. The Cowboy game, I guess that was just a fluke. I would definitely pick the Eagles, but I just can't. I'm gonna have to, or the Packers. I'm gonna pick the Eagles this week.
Yeah, man. Look, it's unfortunate to see Rodgers. Like I know people talk, and even I say it looks like he's doing 8 balls out there. It sucks, man, but I don't see Rodgers in that same light as like Wilson, right?
No.
I think he's just frustrated, bro, and he's showing it on the field, sure, but there's got to be a lot of frustration to be a quarterback like Rodgers, who probably had the opportunity to go elsewhere as well, and he sticks it out because it's Green Bay, man. That's a historic organization, right? It's a historic team. You don't just leave Green Bay, right?
Yeah.
Um, and that town loves them, so on and so forth. But I can
Pay
see the
attention, Brett Favre.
frustration.
Pay attention.
Yeah, really. Well, they kind of diss Brett Favre too, right?
Yeah.
That's a whole other story. But I think Rodgers is just frustrated, bro. He's frustrated, and he's a great quarterback, and he's probably thinking, this far in my career, how the hell am I playing with nothing around me? Like that's BS. I should have pieces around me.
Yeah.
They should take care of me. There should be stuff here. I'm a great quarterback, and they did it, man. I think the organization failed him. AJ Dillon and Jones are still great running backs, but dude, he's the quarterback. How did you not pick up great receivers for him? something of a caliber.
Well, and
So
and
anyway,
there's my understanding of teams is there are teams that pick the best available player. Then there's teams that reach and pick the position of need, right? Because they go, well, I need to pick the best, wide receiver, and they tend to. A lot of those teams when they're doing that, there's no good wide receivers, and so the one they get is the overhyped one or the combine workout stud, and it never works out anyhow. The Packers have been one of those teams that they just draft the best. They rank them on the board, and whoever's there when it's their turn to pick, they pick that guy. And unfortunately for Rodgers, it wasn't wide receivers. Like they just didn't value him on the draft board and didn't pick him up. And I think that would be a moot point if all those players that they picked up had become superstars. But they've really had a lull in drafting over the past time that they've had Rodgers, and he's compensated just a lot like Lamar Jackson does, right? Rodgers overcompensated. This is the year that it's fallen apart. He lost Adams. His thumb gets hurt. It's all sort of just compounding into bad play calling. It's compounding into the bad year. And this is the one year that you're like, oh, well, look, kick them while they're down and enjoy it because, probably next year they won't be. It looks like, Watson, maybe this is his, he's turning around and he actually might be that guy. And in a year, you're like, wow, Watson's the number one pick in the fantasy draft. So I don't know. It doesn't matter. I think the Eagles are better than this shell of a Packers team. So I think that's it, folks.
we have one more game, buddy.
What? What is the
Pittsburgh
last
and
game?
Indiana Monday night.
We are not talking about that team.
Oh, all right, look here.
Somebody apparently didn't do the schedule right.
You schedule guy. See what happens to Striker goes.
Yeah, Striker goes one day out, and we don't talk about the Colts and the Steelers. I'm sorry.
Striker.
I just assumed we wouldn't talk about this because this is the AFC champion Colts.
Oh yeah, you're no, sir. You said Super Bowl champion Colts.
Did I say Super Bowl?
I think you did. I think you said they were gonna win. Maybe not. You gotta go listen to the tape or watch the tape.
I will watch do a replay.
I'm pretty sure I said the Bills, and I think you said the Colts. Maybe not.
I think I said the Colts.
This game, let's not get too deep into it. This one is another one where the NFL should flex schedule this and move these guys to like Wednesday. Right? This game is. I'm not saying it's bad, but the Pittsburgh are bad, bro. The Steelers are really bad. I don't know what's going on there. I like their coach, but they're bad. They're really, really bad. I get Pickett hasn't been starting all season, but he's bad. He's got 3 touchdowns and 8 picks. He's not the answer.
He is a rookie.
Yeah, well, we'll give him that. Fine. But what happened to Najee Harris? Finally, a game this week, but okay. Their best receivers, they're tied in. This team is not doing great. Their defense isn't doing great. They're just not a good team. On the flip side, the Colts are finally coming alive. They did lose they lost a tough one this last weekend, man. And it's Saturday's second game and all that, and I get it, but I think the Colts are not great. They do have Matty Ice back, but I think they're a better team than Pittsburgh. I think that the Colts will win this game. Not hands down or anything, but I think they are rallying around their new coach. I think they're trying to do something special. Matty Ice is back. I think this team has a lot of potential. You were right about it as far as the team it can be, or let's say could have been, but it had problems. Was it the coaching? Maybe. There's other little aspects.
Needed Ryan to have a 5-week off season.
Pretty much, right? We're gonna play him the first few games, and we're gonna give him a 5-week break, and then we'll bring him back to play. Yeah, that's the ticket. I mean, they're 4-6-1, horrible. But I think they're a better team than the Pittsburgh Steelers, and I'm gonna go with the Colts on this one.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Colts as well. I saw a lot in them, and it seems to be there's something to like who you play and when you play them. Like a lot of people look at schedules and go, "Oh, that's a tough schedule. That's an easy schedule." Well, it's an easy schedule based on last year. Like if you were playing the Rams of last year and you got them on this schedule, you're feeling a lot better than last year, right? So it's and also just like when you play, playing the Cardinals now without the little man. It's a lot better playing them now than playing them the first few weeks of the season. So I think the Colts played teams at the bad time, and I think that Ryan took longer to acclimate than I thought. But all that you said is right. The Steelers literally have no fantasy relevance. Najee Harris had one game, despite the fact that he was a first round pick for most fantasy leagues. The Colts have a few more options, and Taylor's looking a little better. The Colts are looking a little better. I think they're going to win. Wouldn't be shocked if they lose, but I think they're going to win.
Good deal. Me too.
All right.
Good job, baby.
Is that all the games?
Let me check. Let's just make sure. Here. I think we missed a game too. Did we get them all?
So I will give you the picks real quick. So we both picked the Bills. So that's my first game. Then we both picked the Cowboys. We both picked we split on the Vikes and the Pats. We talked about the Bucs and the Browns. We talked about the Bengals. I'm looking for the Broncos game.
We talked about it.
Okay. The Jags and the Ravens.
The Broncos. I think you may have won Broncos.
The Dolphins game we talked about. The Jets and the Bears. The Titans and the Bengals. The Redskins and Falcons. Cards and the Chargers. Seahawks and the Raiders. The Chiefs and the Rams. The 49ers and the Saints. The Eagles and the Packers. And the Colts and the Steelers.
Yeah, we got them all.
So we got them all. All right. Cool.
Good week, man. Game of the week for me? Yeah. I'm going to have to go Cowboys-Giants. Big rivalry game, right? Division rivalry. It's on Thanksgiving. To me, that's the game of the week.
I could see that.
But you don't agree.
No, I think I'm just thinking it's probably the Dolphins Texans actually.
Yeah, that's the one I want to watch.
No, I would say the and it's on Thanksgiving, so yeah, I Cowboys Giants. I will give you that one.
That night game though, New England and Minnesota is going to be interesting to watch too.
Yep. Well, it's been fun as always. Thanks for coming out.
Laters. You are? I gotta roll out. Maybe I gotta go brine turkeys.
No, you're good, buddy. Thanks for it always.
Yeah, it was fun.
Yep.
I actually think I had one F-bomb somewhere in there.
Yeah, if I recall, it was pretty early, but yeah.
Yeah, that was the first one.
Doing
better. Doing better.
Yep.
All right, we'll see this. I might be back later to play.
All right, bye.
All right, later.